Hey there, here we are in Loop Hero. I started the game like 6 days ago, I think, and I really liked it. It is a pretty cool game. I may be a little bit late because it was released like more than 1 year ago, but I have completed all the Steam achievements in 6 days, and oh, I didn't realize I was missing a hat here. Give me a second. And I was thinking on doing a video on how to give some tips about defeating the last boss. I'm going to grade it. Okay, so first of all, you have to build hats, like tons of them. You need all the scream. You don't really need to level them up a lot, like I have some level 4s, but you only have to build them. Why? Because they will increase the amount of stuff you can equip. Like my maximum number is 126, and this is what will make you win the last boss. You don't really need any of these before the chapter 4, but you will need it for chapter 4. Those are very important, the old paintings. These are great as well because it won't say it on the text, but it helps a lot against the leech. So I'm carrying 4, you don't really need 4, but they sure help. And about the furniture, you can just equip whatever you think it helps you, and it will probably. So on the cards, I highly recommend the rogue, and if not the rogue, the necromancer. I don't like the warrior that much, but it is great as well. You can beat it with any of the classes, but I think the rogue is the most broken one if you manage to survive the early game. So in the cards, I'm using Cemetery Groove, Spider Cocoon. This is huge because it spawns a lot of spiders, which huge helps in getting cards. The Battlefield, the Bookery. This is a very, 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 very good card. And the Outpost could help you in boss fights and stuff, but it isn't really necessary, but I'm going to take it. The Suburbs are great, and the River and the Forest. I've seen many of the YouTube videos like about when the game was released, uses desert in combination with the River and the Forest, but as I've read, it isn't as good anymore, and I've tried and didn't really think it was great, so I will use only Forest and River. And in the cards, I will use Oblivion and Beacon, and the Arsenal. This is huge. This is like the best golden card of the game. You can also get the Maze of Memories because of filling all the inside of the loop, but I prefer the Arsenal way better. So there we go. I've also heard it is interesting not to keep any weapon in the first 2 loops because apparently, I haven't found out, but apparently the enemies stack their resistances and the damage they get in the first rounds. So if you keep some weapons, the enemies will be stronger and they will stack that points of defense or anything to later loops. So you can actually do it pretty fine in the first loop without any weapons, so I think that's the best choice. So starting with the Arsenal, you want to place it in somewhere where it doesn't make, let me see, I think that's a cool place to place it. You don't want it to be in the place of any other building you plan to build later. So apart from that, we don't get about 24s or anything. Battlefields are huge. You don't really want to mix them like one in front of the other because the rewards aren't as good in my opinion. You just want to place one like here and one here, and the river should be like over here, I think, or there. We'll look at it later. The beacons, you want them to affect your cozy camp because that is the place where you're finding bosses. So second run, we're still not equipping any weapon, just the other stuff. We'll wait for any forest to spawn. Spider cocoons will be actually great. Well, I'll just put one here. Because the archers, if you have the building unlocked, the archers will help in all these 3 squares. When I got the first time... Oh, okay, we got a first. Just a second. So you actually have to plan where your river is going to head. I think my river, since I have space over here, my river should go all the way down, then up, and then to this side. But you will see we're doing like a very short run, so we are actually not building the river over here because all these zones are going to be suburbs. Like that. There we go. We want to place this groove. 1, 2, 3 over here will be nice. You have to take in consideration that if you use cemeteries, grooves, or whatever next to the camp, it may spawn enemies which will help the boss in the boss fight. So you have to be careful about this tile and this tile, like placing any grove or cemetery or swamp or anything. So the main strategy is to ignore to ignore anything but thickets. You don't want forests, you want thickets in the first place. If you're... Okay, we're in loop 3, so now we can start equipping weapons. I'm not really looking any of the traces in the first loops. It doesn't really mind, you just equip the higher number and it will do alright. A library over here will be nice, I think. Nurse over here, and there we go. So I actually got here very early in the game. I didn't even have most of the necessary supplies and I had a rough time, so my main strategy was to get like long runs where my river was huge, all surrounded by thickets, and I managed to defeat the 4th boss with that. But in that guide I'm going to make it like quite fast because I don't really need to build all the way long. And just to show you how this works. But the main strategy is to have like one place of the map with suburbs and the other with a river and thickets, and that will be it. Just place your... Look, if we place it here, this tile won't be what we want, so I'm just going to use it here, which will help the library whenever it is... the bookery, sorry, whenever it is destroyed, but it doesn't matter. You also want to keep some oblivions for when the leech spawns, because it will create like in 3x3 tiles, it will create some buildings which increase its damage and health, if I remember correctly. So you may want to keep oblivions to delete them. Okay. More suburbs. Suburbs are huge for leveling up and getting some nice passive. Resurrections, if you manage to get the... whenever we level up, there we go. When the hero health falls below, that's great, I will take this. The resurrection over here, it is huge for your first runs, because having one resurrection plus the cemetery one sometimes makes the difference between defeating a boss and not doing so. So as you can see, we're avoiding this one from using groups or cemeteries, but we can actually use spider cocoons, which is huge because the archers of the camp will help defeating them. This, if you're like first time in the chapter 4, this is kind of helpful to put this here because it will help you in the fight, and they are not a huge difference like fighting with them or without them, or without them, but they can tank 2 hits, which in a state where you nearly kill the boss and lose, that will probably make the difference. So yeah, you're kind of interested to having outposts here. So we will keep on building our river. We can actually use another library over here, I think. Oblivion isn't necessary yet. You also want to keep oblivions for whenever you've used too many thickets or forests to delete the village that will spawn. Okay. I don't having a lot of luck with tickets, but you will eventually get them. I tend to put one at the end of the river edge because sometimes I build the river over here and it is useless, like you're using tiles which can be thickets and could be good, because if you put a river here on this part won't be anything, so it isn't that great. So another spider cocoon place here to affect this tile and this tile as well. This goes down, and here are the lich. I've gone pretty fast. As you can see, it spawned some lich palace. If you can take it like more peacefully, you can actually fill those tiles and it won't spawn a thing and it will be weaker. Or maybe don't use the bookery and use some oblivion here, but I'm pretty strong at this point, so I don't really care about fighting it with the extra buildings. So bosses in this game are stronger the more loops we make. So let me check the equipment for a second. Okay, I'm interested in innovation. This one is good probably. Okay. And this shield will be great. I don't really need, I could fight it with almost anything, but as you can see, you have to prepare yourself a little bit. So this one's here. Okay, we're fighting it. Will be a quick fight because I'm too boosted at this point. But on your first try, you may want to fight it on loop 7 or 8 to get more attack speed with the river. But now I'm pretty broken, so it was kind of easy. So we're using more grooves. I'm like not speed running, but obviously, but making it kind of fast because I'm in a state of the game where I can do it. So another interesting thing would be put another outpost here, so we would have 2 soldiers helping us. So we'll keep on run, another level. That is huge in the very start. It could be your first trade, that would be huge, but the second works as well, because it will increase your experience a lot. And more even if you're playing with suburbs, which is what I of course recommend. So we're keeping with the river over here. We don't want this to get lost, so we'll probably split it here. Okay, we got some stronger weapons. This one goes here, and this one's go here. Okay. Okay, more thickets. That's great. Okay, then we had a village. Give me a second. A suburb, and the outpost over here. Well, if you actually want to farm resources, that is one of the best trades to unlock, because you can actually have a huge, like 10 of what were they called? Pieces or whatever. Like a huge one of those. There we go. Okay, we keep with the river all the way up. So we got another battlefield, which will be kind of nice to place here, I think. The suburbs, I can make any town, so they will lay below. I will probably place these forests kind of soon, because I want to rush it as much as possible to not get the bosses kind of strong, since I'm not building anything in particular. But the first time you play with a rogue, my recommendation will be to have some evasion. Like, the perfect thing would be 75%, which is the max, but if you can have like 50, that is pretty alright to be the final boss, or any boss at all, because evasion is broken in my opinion. So we get another beacon here, a cemetery. That's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, those are already occupied, so yeah, I'm using here. Another town there, spider cocoon here, another level. That's what I said. Omicron's technique, that is really broken to be able to resurrect, but I don't really need it that much, so I'm going to take the Hunter's Mark, which I think is broken. Okay, new weapons. I'm really looking at any of the effects. I'm just like picking the higher levels. This might has more damage. This one goes here. We got more swords. Always use your swords before fighting anything. If you've got swords in your deck, you want to use them because it is experience you will lose if not when losing any of the foes. So there we go. And as I said, you actually want to stack evasion. I have 35% right now, which is pretty cool. But you want to fight the bosses with 50 if possible, or 75 in an ideal situation. Another thicket, which will go here. This is not really worth. I should put it over here, but it is like. Okay, it is like for me to not miss that I have to pass the river over here, because if not I will probably go another way down. And remember, if you get the... Here we have the second boss. If you get the river too close to the loop tiles, it will spawn sirens and stuff, so you have to know if you want that or if you don't. So, another suburb, which I didn't place. And there we go. A cool chest. More thickets, which is actually huge. See, we already got 100% attack speed, which is huge by placing some of the thickets. Imagine like having a long-term run where you can turn the attack speed even in 400. Even having half all the maps or the map with suburbs, you can actually get like 400, maybe 5, but that would be too much. Okay, more trade. This is actually cool since we are playing against spider cocoons and stuff, which spawns a lot, so this is great if you want to farm stuff. Oblivion will go over here. Stay, of course. So with this boss, you actually want some attack speed, because you will clean this shit faster. But it isn't actually a problem since you already played a lot of rivers and thickets, so as you can see, it goes down pretty easily. Not even using any of the resurrection. Okay. Another suburb here to make a town. There we go. This goes here. This goes here. I'm not really looking for the for the synergies, but you would like to look for evasion like this one. And a little bit. Goes over here. You can actually place some forests around the river. It is not like trolling or anything, but in the places where the river goes like 3, like this one in the future where a river will be here, you want thickets like 100%, because it will turn into 4 and 8 just by one tile. It is the same with those spaces which are affected by 2 rivers. You want thickets over here, but you can place forests like all the way here. I'm putting some over here. A cemetery over here. Can I make any town? No, I can't, so I'm using this over here. Okay. I got an Oblivion, but I don't really need to use it. I'm going to use the beacon here to boost the camp. As you can see, here wouldn't, but here it does, so more attack speed we have in the fight. The enemy as well, remember that. But well, if I remember correctly as well, the beacons do not affect bosses, so you will be kind of fine. This should be used here to use the boss. Can we make any town? No, we can't. can. Remember always to play a suburb as soon as you get it. You have to play it, because if not, it is experience you're losing. Be careful if you're on your first chapter 4 run or one of the first, because building too much will rush the bosses and they will be weaker, but so will you. So you have to be very careful about that. If you feel like you're having an extremely lag with getting high level items with night synergies, you can actually like force a boss fight into that loop, which will be like kind of clever because of fighting the boss in a weaker state the later. So the river, I will probably do like this with the river and ending. I think I will end it here. Yeah, well, I will see. Another one was here. Those are really great, the battlefield, because they highly boost the quality of the items you're getting. Doesn't matter if you're playing with the rogue, with the necromancer, or with the warrior. So another one goes here. The river keeps on going. A spider cocoon. Here will spawn there and there. Another thicket over here, which created a village. Okay, more forest over here. We're kind of close to the... I'm pretty sure on loop 11 we will be fighting the next boss. This is great because it damaged to all and we're spawning tons of enemies. This one gets evasion because of the shape. Let me check. Yes, evasion bonus. Let me check with damage and counter. I actually like counter, so I will use it here. And this has evasion bonus, yep, which will make 25, but this is 21 and it has damage to all. I would rather use this one than that one. And let me check. Well, this has evasion, I will keep it. But sometimes there is a good decision to have like colorless items if they're with a very high level, like this one, which is level 12 when we're using even level 7s. So yeah, well, I can actually change this, but I think evasion is OP, so I'm going to get the evasion bonus. We got a new trade, which I think will be this. This one's very great as well, but I like this. Even if the chances are pretty small, you can actually like one shot. More suburbs, another town, a cemetery over here because it will be held by the outpost. Okay, another suburb here, which creates a town. That's great. A beacon over here, over there. So I want the river to go down now. Oh, we got another outpost, didn't see it. We can place it over here since there are a lot of enemies, or... yeah, here's a place, no, here's river. Another suburb which creates a town. Okay, let's keep on moving. We're actually spawning the boss this loop. So we're using... oh! You see the thicket going away because of the library. Okay, so yeah, well, anyway, we're spawning the boss this loop. And our outpost here. The Oblivion should go here to delete the village because they are annoying as fuck. Okay, let's just go out. Spider go out. New cards. No, because I fight the foes later than walking over the bookery. Can I create any other town over here? You actually have to look for towns because they give 2 instead of 1 experience. Where am I? So I think with this I will spawn the boss. Oh, we got really close. If this wasn't an Oblivion, we would have Okay, it's okay, we're fighting it on loop 11. This one gets evasion, if I'm right, yeah, evasion. So we're keeping it, this is attack speed, yep. I want that. This is defense, right? Yeah, defense. This is with a higher level as well. This one. Okay, I'm keeping this evasion. We got really low evasion, like 3/4, but we're fine. And this one will be the one spawning the boss. There we go. We were just one away. Well, one more loop we'll check later. So as you can see, the rogue is pretty broken as soon as you enter mid game and late game. There's actually nothing which can stand in your way. I don't want to create any battlefields. Look at that. I even lost HP. Okay, this one goes here as well. We're not getting many tickets, we're being kind of unlucky, but it doesn't really matter. Okay, and the family is in the spider cocoon. Did we go to... oh yeah, our village. As I said, you have to take those places like this one in the corners of the river and these, all these places in the middle of both rivers. Okay, here. Let's keep going. I'm not using more rivers anymore because I won't fill all these tiles before ending the run, so it is like pointless to have more rivers. I will probably start to use some forest, like whatever. Another village here, which will be deleted in no time. I don't think we need any more beacons at all. Oh, this one might be here, might be right, yeah. So another town here. This one is a mistake. Okay, we got another town. Oh, another thicket, which goes next to a river, obviously. Another thicket. I'm getting all the thickets I should have got before. Another beacon, which I don't think it's necessary anymore. I will use it here. Another trade. Resurrection. Well, this in the early game is very great. Now it isn't that much, but I'm taking it anyway because it is extra HP you can always use. So we keep on in. We're using the outpost. It doesn't really matter anymore. But here, which is kind of trolling because we're only boosting one space, but whatever. So here we have. This is the hunter. Stay, of course. This was actually, in my opinion, the hardest boss of the game, even more than the final boss, but as you can see in this point, we absolutely destroyed. The dogs gain full health again if you kill one of the others, so be careful about that. This is very good with evasion. This is great with evasion as well, but I'm not taking it at high speed. Pure damage, damage to all. We want damage to all, and this is a very high level. Damage to all as well, since as you can see we have a lot of tiles with multiple enemies like 3, 3 and 4, and since we're not placing any lights to not make them, here we have 4 in a minute, we actually want like damage to all when we are doing the loop. Later for the boss fight you can keep all your evasion, but for the time we are doing the loop, like for the boss fight, I would actually prefer this weapon over here than this one, but now I prefer it because of cleaning faster. But yeah, I've realized against bosses your main goal is to dodge stuff, and to dodge stuff you need evasion. We're playing thickets over here. This cannot create a town, but this can. Okay. This one goes here. Another forest over, I don't know, here. Another beacon over here. Okay, another thicket over here. Well, later, like, the game gets in a state where you play automatically. You don't have to think much, just play stuff, since you already have your run one. Another town here, another ticket here, another ticket here. This could go here, but no, because it collides. Well, it doesn't really matter. It creates a block path, but it's okay. So we're probably doing... we can try to fight the final boss in this loop. Yeah. We can probably reach it by using a river here. I know I said that was the end of the river, but it wasn't. We're using the cemeteries over here. Well, it is also interesting, if you're in your way to fight the last boss, to start placing shit all over the part of the loop you have already done, because it doesn't mean anything me placing a cemetery here if I already passed through it and I'm fighting the final boss over here, because I will never touch this tile again. Well, if I stay I will, but it is kind of clever to start to put all the shit over places you have already been, like this. And if you have an outpost and you're struggling, you can put it like at the end of the loop to make the last fights easier and get to the boss more healthy. Another one goes here, which creates 2 towns. And yeah, we will probably fight it this time. We'll use Valkyrie here to get more cards. There we go. Yeah, it's very nice. Valkyrie here. Yes, we're fighting it, because we have a lot of cards coming out of here. Okay, another outpost. We're like 3 cards away. 2. 1. And go. Okay, one more. Come on, give me a card. Whatever. Yeah, it could be a river. Oh no! We were even 1 more away. Okay, cemetery over here, and there we are. This is the final boss, which in my opinion is way easier than the third one. The hard part about fighting the final boss is that you have to fight all the previous 3 in the same run. But apart from that, the boss itself is pretty easy. I destroyed him on my first run against him, and I wasn't even buffed as I'm now, so yeah, you can... if you kill the third boss, you will probably kill the fourth one. So that's it, we're fighting it, of course, which will be kind of slow because it has a lot of HP, and as you can see, it weakens some of your stats because it deletes objects, as you can see. But, well, and this guard is making pretty alright. There we go. And this will be it. You can actually keep on going around the loop, but I retreat. And also saying that a good option over your cards or your deck is to have the Smith's Forge. You will get a lot of those, and you can always replace them with Valkyries, but placing them at the start of the loop and the end, you will of course delete some of your items, but the boost it has to your armor and to your resistance, it is quite alright to fight the boss. So that will be it. I hope you liked the video, and I don't know if I will do any more videos about Loop Hero, but it is a game that I recommend to everybody because I had like a lot of fun by playing it, and it was such a great experience. So see you guys.